प्रणाम मैडम।
Namaste.
Maharaj.
না ঠিক আছে। না 102 থেকে। Yeah. Okay. And yes, we have gone. Now, what is that? তোমার ওই চারটা ওই that এইগুলো this one.
That is the configure. It went to
Ah,
should I show it again?
like we start with that.
Okay. So I have done it. So this one you can do just come here. This chart, this one is not very clear. I'm showing these two.
Okay.
Okay, these two. I'm showing.
Yes.
You want to show the chart here? These two you want to show here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me bring it up. Picture. Yeah, this one is not good. First,
Yes,
this one is this one, right? Expand so that people can see.
Yeah, that's it.
And then this two. I've also projected earlier.
Yeah. Okay, we'll start with our prayers. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sahana Bhavatu Sahanu Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Aviravirmedhi. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Akhandam Satchidanandam Avang Manasagocharam Atmanam Akhiladharam Asray Bhishta Siddhai. May we be protected, may we be nourished, may we strive with energy and vigor. May our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace, peace. Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment and not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me. Om peace, peace, peace. I take refuge in the self, the indivisible, the existence consciousness bliss, absolute, beyond the reach of words and thought, and the substratum of all, for the attainment of my cherished desire. So we are studying Vedantasara, the gist of Vedanta or teachings of Vedanta, the end result of Veda. So, before we proceed, okay, we'll read from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. David?
Yes, Swami.
Yes.
Thus, when people cease to think of the past or future, when they give up the idea of body, because the body comes and goes and is limited, then they have risen to a higher ideal. The body is not the real man, neither is the mind, for the mind waxes and wanes. It is the spirit beyond which alone can live forever. The body and mind are continually changing and are, in fact, only names of series of changeful phenomena, like rivers whose waters are in a constant state of flux, yet presenting the appearance of unbroken streams. Every particle in this body is continually changing. No one has the same body for many minutes together, and yet we think of it as the same body. So with the mind, one moment it is happy, another moment unhappy, one moment strong, another weak, an ever-changing whirlpool. That cannot be the spirit, which is infinite. Change can only be in the limited. To say that the infinite changes in any way is absurd. It cannot be. You can move and I can move as limited bodies. Every particle in this universe is in a constant state of flux. But taking the universe as a unit, as one whole, it cannot move, it cannot change. Motion is always a relative thing. I move in relation to something else. Any particle in this universe can change in relation to any other particle. But take the universe, the whole universe as one, and in relation to what can it move? Swami, this is a presaging Albert Einstein's theory.
Yeah,
I didn't realize.
see, like you can see, relative world. One thing is there, whatever changes are happening, you can observe that change because there is something which is not changing. So, from that standpoint, we can understand that things are changing all the time. But what happens when we don't think about that unchanged? Then we are in the flux. And we think we are also mortal. As everything's are dying, we also think that we are also dying every moment. So what is the need? What should we do? We must concentrate that which never changes. Then only all the changes can be seen, and then those changes cannot affect us. So that is the idea. So Swamiji is just mentioning that in this world everything is changing. Even Buddha Bhagavan said that everything is momentary. Kshanikam, kshanikam, sarvam kshanikam. Everything is momentary. Thoughts are momentary. Even body particles are momentary. From what perspective? From the perspective of that which never changes. That is why we need to concentrate there. And that is our real identity. So Swamiji will come there. Go ahead. The real man.
But
Swamiji said that this is not real man. Thoughts are not real man. The body is not real man. And actually this Vedantasara, later you'll find all these ideas will be discussed. Like what we mean by our person, and various identifications are there. Charvakas, they think that this body is real. Charvakas are not, like we are also, we're common people. We are also like Charvakas. Sometimes we think this body is me, sometimes we think that mind is me, sometimes we think that our intellect is me. But actually, these are not real men. The real man is behind. Real man is the witness, unchanging, Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Sabhavan. That is real person. So we have to reach that. So, yeah, this will help us. So, all of a sudden we cannot reach there. We must go through the path. First, we have to see the change, identify the changes that is uh, being enacted. And when we can identify the changes, then only we will try to identify what is never changing. We see only cars are running on the road. Not every person understands that that running of the car we can see because of the road which is not running. So this way, our teachers are very wise. They teach us something which is not of this world. But only thing we need to be very sharp, so that we understand what is the content of their teachings. Yes.
But take the whole universe as one, and in relation to what can it move? There is nothing besides it. So this infinite unit is unchangeable, immovable, absolute, and this is the real man. Our reality, therefore, consists in the universal and not in the limited. These are old delusions, however comfortable they are, to think that we are limited little beings constantly changing. People are frightened when they are told that they are
Now just let us think. We see dreams. Dreams come, dreams go away. But we are more interested in dream. We are to find that real man who dreamt that dream. Dreams are temporary. So why to give importance to dreams? Rather, we have to give importance to the real man who dreamt. Similarly, we watch videos, movies. So we discuss after that. We say, oh, this happened, that happened. We are more interested in what happened. But by that we have to identify who never changed. So this is like a reverse way of looking at it. Paranchi khani vetrina swayambhu tasmat parang pashyanti nantaratman. Generally what happens, our attention is outward. We want to grab something, we want to see something, changes. But we have to see that which never changes, the real man. That is the idea. Yes.
People are frightened when they are told that they are a universal being, everywhere present. Through everything you work, through every foot you move, through every lip you talk, through every heart you feel. People are frightened when they are told this.
So if we can identify that real man pervades everything. And therefore we can feel all feelings. Then not in small pools, rather it is the whole ocean. So we have to first identify that real man. See, without that identification we cannot have this. Like generally we say we have to deify everything. What does it mean? It means that whatever we see, we have to deify. But what is changing all the time, what is temporary, how can we deify that? Sri Ramakrishna says, first realize God. After realization, when you come back, then only you can see that everything is God Himself, who has transformed Himself, as it were, in many. First, we have to identify God. First, we have to identify our real person, real man. And when that is done, then only we can identify everything as God. Not before that. Yes.
People will again and again ask you if they are not going to keep their individuality. What is individuality? I should like to see it. A baby has no mustache. When he grows to be a man, perhaps he has a mustache and a beard. His individuality would be lost if it were in the body. If I lose one eye, or if I lose one of my hands, my individuality would be lost if it were in the body. Then, a drunkard should not give up drinking because he would lose his individuality. A thief should not be a good man because he would thereby lose his individuality. No man ought to change his habits for fear of this. There is no individuality except in the infinite. That is the only condition which does not change. Everything else is in a constant state, a flux. Neither can individuality be in memory. Suppose, on account of a blow on the head, I forget all about my past. Then I have lost all individuality. I am gone. I do not remember 2 or 3 years of my childhood, and if memory and existence are one, then whatever I forget is gone. That part of my life which I do not remember, I did not live. That is a very narrow idea of individuality.
So we have to first identify a real identity. Then only we can see everything. Sri Ramakrishna, what Sri Ramakrishna taught us. Sri Ramakrishna said, first touch the granny. After you touch the granny, then you can do whatever you like. But before that, every moment will be challenging moment for you. So, first God, and then other things. So here God means the real man, the real identity that never changes. That is our real identity. That we have to understand. So how to do that? Say bhakti, from bhakti point of view. We meditate on God and to submit and surrender totally at His feet. By that way, what we do? We forget this small identity and we identify ourselves with the chosen ideal, the Ishta. Yes.
We are not individuals yet. We are struggling towards individuality, and that is the infinite. That is the real nature of man. He alone lives whose life is in the whole universe. And the more we concentrate our lives on limited things, the faster we go towards death. Those moments alone we live, when our lives are in the universe, in others. And living this little life is death, simply death. And that is why the fear of death comes. The fear of death can only be conquered when man realizes that so long as there is one life in this universe, he is living. When he can say, I am in everything, in everybody, I am in all lives, I am the universe, then alone comes the state of fearlessness. To talk of immortality in constantly changing...
Bhagavad Gita says, Yomam pashyati sarvatram, sarvam cha mai pashyati. He who finds me in everything, and everything in me. Yomam pashyati sarvatram, sarvam cha mai pashyati, tasyaham na pranashyami, sacha me na pranashyati. So we are to find this real identity, real self, real man, all pervading, so that nothing can destroy us. Death is nothing. When we identify ourselves with that Supreme Being, then nothing can separate or destroy us. Neither He destroys us nor we destroy Him. So, yumam pashyati sarvatram, sarvam cha mai pashyati, tasyaham na pranashyami, sacha me na pranashyati. So, we are there. Yeah, go ahead.
To talk of immortality and constantly changing things is absurd. Says an old Sanskrit philosopher, it is only the spirit that is the individual because it is infinite. No infinity can be divided. Infinity cannot be broken into pieces. It is the same one, undivided unit forever, and this is the individual man, the real man. The apparent man is merely a struggle to express, to manifest this individuality which is beyond, and evolution is not in the spirit. These changes which are going on, the wicked becoming good, the animal becoming man, take them in whatever way you like. They are not in the spirit. They are evolution of nature and manifestation of spirit. Suppose there is a screen hiding you from me, in which there is a small hole through which I can see some of the faces before me, just a few faces. Now suppose the hole begins to grow larger and larger, and as it does so, more and more of the scene before me reveals itself. And when at last the whole screen has disappeared, I stand face to face with you all. You did not change at all in this case. It was the whole that was evolving, and you were gradually manifesting yourselves. So it is with spirit. No perfection is going to be attained. You are already free and perfect.
So, what is the change then? Change in Prakriti, in nature. Nature, because Prakriti and Vikriti, because it is, uh, we identify with its various revolutes. Therefore, we think that we are small. But as and when we can separate ourselves from Prakriti and Vikriti. Vikriti means that it's evolutes. It's evolutes. Prakriti and its evolutes. Then our real identity will be recognized. Then only we can deify. We cannot deify just as we are. We cannot cover corpse by flowers. Flowers here means like some ideas. First we have to identify, then only it is possible. Now here we are in that state. In Vedantasara, there's a special way of expressing. So our teachers, how they teach? They teach that atasmin tadbuddhi. As of now, we have certain ideas. This world, what is this world? And what is reality? What is real identity or real self? So, the real self is looking like this world and creation. So, it's called superimposition. The example is given, the rope. We see as if we see a snake on a rope, but actually it is not. So it is called vivarta. So here we try to see that which never changes, that rope. What is that rope? Here we say Brahman. Brahman, on that Brahman, this false, whatever we see, it is this world that is superimposed. Now, the Vedanta should explain why we see this, how we see this. So that superimposition is being explained. That this whole world, whatever we see, it is nothing else but the superimposition. The next step will be these superimposition. That means whatever is being said, that all will be nullified. Then what remains? Then it will be one. Brahmakara chitta vritti. And that also stops. What remains? That remains what is, what really is, that will remain. So this is the intellectual way of understanding. From devotional aspect, we surrender ourselves to the chosen ideal. But whatever we say, there will be some problem or some remnants. But here it is threadbare. One can reach there logically. So we have studied already Panchikaranam, how Panchikaranam happens. Let us start with a story. A famous story that David says it never ends. So there was a king and of course a queen, and they had a beautiful prince. And one day he thought, okay, let me explore. See, he started with a horse, riding on a horse. And all of a sudden it started galloping, and it entered in a forest. And he lost everything, and he did not know where he was. And he went in that forest, deep within, and all of a sudden he looks at, there is a palace. So what to do? He enters in that palace, and he goes inside, and he finds there is a room. There are so many rooms, but in one room, a beautiful princess is lying down, unconscious. Now you can see, this story is all fictitious. So I have thought this, and I gave some words. To you, now it is already imagination that yes, there must be a prince. And it entered in the forest, and he saw a palace. These are all my words. So words give you a notion, and then imagination is the component. Now here, what is the... now suppose this story I want to make a film. So I'll have to gather some actors and a horse and everything. And then not only that, I need a forest also and cameraman to capture that. And then also a princess, unconscious, and all this I need to gather. Now see how it starts. I thought, let me explain this. So this is the cause, causal. So how I did? I gather some words, subtle. The words are subtle. Even thoughts are subtle. And I expressed it in gross way. And then the listeners will hear, and the reverse process will be done. So first they'll gather what is the sound, they'll interpret, and they will imagine such a scenario. And if I am to make a video of it or a movie of it, then I need to gather all those people physically. Same thing is happening in Panchikaranam. Panchikaranam means what? See, this whole world we see, if you go one by one, there is no end of it. Even science cannot go one by one. So what they have done, they have generalized. Okay, I see something. So all the matters, say they have 108 or maybe 120, some are unstable. Say hydrogen, helium, then B, C, the carbon, nitrogen, etc. So 108, but they have extended, and some are temporary, so 120 or so, like just imagine. But the component of that is electron, proton, neutron, and how that works. So how in the nucleus, proton and neutron coexist. How it is possible? Because all protons are positive. So they imagined, okay, there must be some string theory, like opposite they are lying down, etc. String theory. And they have not stopped there. And then quantum theory. So all the time it is in move, and so many positions are there. So anyway, I'm not going in details. So what is the point? Point is, science has got a particular way of generalization. And once it is generalized, then it can be seen, the whole universe within that frame. Similarly, our Vedanta acharyas, they found we have 5 avenues. What are those avenues? Eyes, ears, then chakshukarna, jiva, tongue, nasa, nose, and twacha, skin. And by this we experience this whole world. There is no 6th one. We have only 5. When we have 5 sense organs, then we are perceiving something, like I am seeing some forms, colors, etc. That means it has some resemblance. And I am hearing something, that means something is there, so like a vayu. And some vibrations are happening, so it is reaching to my ears, and then I understand. So 5 senses, sense organs, 5 objects, and then also I have some avenues, motor avenues, or say 5 karmendriyas. So organs of action. Say I'm throwing my hands, I'm speaking. So these are also 5. And then how it is happening? So 5 bhutas, pancha bhutas, 5 very, very subtle. They have grossified in this state. Now, if something has grossified, that must be some subtle thing is there. Say when I spoke that story, I told you that story, the thought was there. So before grossification, there must be some subtle ideas. And before that, there must be some causal ideas. So see how now it happens. So 5 elements, from that 5 elements, all this is happening. It's the building block of this universe. What are those? Kshiti, Up, Tej, Marut, Vyom. What is that? Kshiti means whatever is solid. Kshiti, up, whatever is liquid. We see something, we taste something, so liquid. Tej, something is fiery or energetic. Marut, something is gaseous, we can feel that. And something which we can understand that everything is encompassed in it, that the akasha, space. So this is grossified form. There must be some subtle and must be causal. How we can come to that state? Okay. You go to dream. You dream in the night. And you see so many dreams. How it is happening? Because it is becoming projected from a subtle idea. Say suppose you did something in your waking state and that impression is still residual in your mind. That will make a figure. And then it will be projected. See how it is all connected. So there is a causal. Causal we cannot understand, only we can infer. Say I am speaking, you can understand that I have some thoughts. You can infer that there is a cause, because of that I am talking. So cause can be only inferred. So now see how things happen. Now I already enumerated 5 elements, 5 sense avenues, 5 karmendriyas, actions, 5 organs of actions, and 5 pancha pranas. Because of that, all the movement is happening. And all this is because of 3 things. One is a very like there is no movement, like off, and there is on when it is all light. So sattvic and tamasic, and transition, that means all the movement. So sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Because of this, the whole things are being enacted. So this is the way of our Vedanta acharyas. How to explain? But it is not imagined. It is based on the teachings of Vedas. So 3 things are there: Shruti, Yukti, and Anubhuti. Shruti means it is based on the teachings of Vedas, number 1. Then it should be logical. See, I'm not talking illogically. Shruti, Yukti, and Anubhuti. We also feel that way. Do you see? Yes, Swami, I see. Do you hear? Yes, Swami, I hear. So these are experience. So Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti, on this basis. Now, this is the basis or basic of Panchikaranam. Now, let us go to the text. This is the principle. And when Panchikaranam is done, then from that Panchikaranam is grossification. Let me go back. I have a thought. Before that, there is a cause. From cause, I have a thought. Then I fabricated a story. And if I want to depict it, project it, then I need to organize the whole troupe of actors, actresses, even cameramen, and also the whole say like forest and etc. etc. So here, this is the theory. What is the theory? How to explain this huge universe and our experiences. So if we can think this way, then we can see that all this is Vikriti of Prakriti, evolutes of the Prakriti. What is Prakriti? Ignorance. Ignorance means I do not know. Ignorance means not knowing properly or correctly. We have some knowledge, but what is that knowledge? We have not thought about it. We have not identified that real man. But if we concentrate, we can identify what is Prakriti. So minus Prakriti, what remains? That is the Purusha. So let us go back. So 24 cosmic principles, 5 elements, 5 sense organs, 5 karmendriyas, organs of action, and 5 prana, pancha prana, and mind, intellect, man, buddhi, chitta. Chitta means mind stuff, and ego. This we already have discussed, but in short, what is that? See, I'm thinking, rationalizing, and all this is happening in something. So when I rationalize, that is the function of intellect, who decides this is this, who says this is a book and not a pen. So nishchayatmika vritti. And when I think, is it a book or a pen? That is mind, speculation, speculating mind. It grabs and it releases. So, man, mind, intellect, and then the whole thing is contained in something that is called chitta, and it is animated because of the consciousness of being. And the identification, sense identification that this is me, that's I. That is called ego. So this is 24 cosmic principles. Now let us go to the text. Panchanam panchatmakatve samani api teshu cha visheshyatu tad tad vadas tavat vadah. That means, let me go to the Sanskrit, it will be difficult. So, though these five gross elements are alike in so far as each of them contains the five elements, yet they are differently named. Why it is differently named? Because whatever is predominant in that. So this gross vayu means air, has got all other things. It has some moisture also, it has some other things also. But mainly it is gaseous. Space, so like this, that's why this chart is there. That Tejas. No, this is a different chart. Anyway, five elements, whatever is predominant, like in a space will be predominant and all other things will be there. So this is called Panchikaranam. So though these five gross elements are alike in so far as each of them contains the five elements, yet they are different named as either ether, etc., ether, air, etc., owing to the preponderance of a particular element in them. So this is Brahma Sutra also, it says. It's like here we say that half of this of the original and half, let me see what is it. Yeah, here. So half of, say, space, half of space is there, and then 1/4, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, that becomes 1/4, sorry, half, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, that means half, and 1/2 is space. When it is grossified, when it is as it is, so sometimes it is called tanmatra also, but it is the subtlest. And then air, so air must be half, and other things are 1/4, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8. Similarly, all these. So why it is the name is given? Because of the preponderance of that. The sound. In sound will be more. Anyway, that's the idea. Tadanim akashe shabdo abhivyajyati. Now, what it says, that at that time, ether manifests sound, air manifests sound, and touch. So, if you like in my younger days, I heard a pravachan. Pravachan means speech. There, the Swami was explaining, a person is standing. So he's he's in a space. And he now starts running. So he's in space, at the same time he's also getting the touch of the air. And after running sometimes, what happens? He is in the space, he also experiences the impact of air, and heat is generated. So that is tejas. That means fire. After running certain time, then what happens? He is in the space, and he also experiences the touch of air, and fire is within. He is warm. But at the same time, because he perspires. And and fourth, after that, what happens? When he perspires, then sediments is settled. So it is like earth. Then he has to take bath to clean himself. So Because that also will give a smell. See, if you see there, sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. So after perspiration, smell will come. So he has to take bath. So this is simple way of understanding, but the name is given because of the preponderance of um, that element. Like earth, so earth will be more there. Water also will be there. So all other will be included in that. At that time, ether manifests sound, air manifests sound and touch, fire, sound, touch, and form. Like there, I think it is the other one. Yeah, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. So it is in Sanskrit. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. So here, as you see here, uh, in Akash it is only one. Vayu, two. Shabda and Sparsha. In fire, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa. Like if you see fire, so you can understand that sound is also coming like click, 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 click. And also you can see the form. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa. And in water, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, four. And in earth, there will be five, five. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, and Gandha. So anyway, so that is what is being said. At that time, ether manifests sound, air manifests sound and touch, fire, sound, touch, and form, water, sound, here, I think it is there. Hey, hey. At that time, ether manifests sound, air manifests sound and touch, fire, sound, touch, and form, water, sound, touch, form, and taste, and earth manifests sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. Now, go to the next. Etebhya panchikritebhyo bhutebhyo. Now comes, when it is panchikaranam is done, mixture is done, my story has come to fruition, then I need to have all the actors, actresses, and some place also. Like so, here also you'll find etebhya panchikritebhya. From these compounded elements have evolved the seven planes, existing one above the other. What is the Bhur, Bhuva, Swa, Maha, Jana, Tapa, Sattva. Bhur, Bhuvar, Swar, Maha, Jana, Tapas, and Satyam. And also lower seven. What are those? And the seven nether planes. What are those? Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Talatala, Mahatala, Patala. You can see like seven spheres. Say we have, this is called Bhu. Bhu means this earth and whatever is related to earth. And beyond this there must be something higher, that Bhuvar Loka. And then something more that's Swar Loka. Similarly, seven planes upward and seven planes downward. All these are evolutes of Prakriti after Panchikaranam, after the conglomeration or mixing up of all the elements. From these compounded elements have evolved the seven planes existing one above the other, Bhur, Bhuva, Swa, etc. And then seven nether planes, one below the other, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Talatala, Patala, Mahatala. So these are, we can skip this. The world, the four kinds of gross bodies contained in it. Now, in this world, there are four kinds of beings. What are those? Jarayuja, Andaja. Some are hatched from egg. Some come from mother's womb. And some comes because of some like sweating. And some from various vegetations. So these are various manifestations. So what is being said? Prakriti and 24 cosmic principles. 24 cosmic principles have come from Prakriti, and because of this mm, uh, combination and recombination, the whole world is created. That's being said. Like my story, I conceived a story and I gave a verbal form, and then if I have to make a video of it, then I need to gather all the things, but based on that story. So the world, the four kinds of gross bodies contained in it, together with the food and drink appropriate to them. So all these are also important. Food, otherwise if we don't eat food, then how survive? I mean, the being must, a person should survive. Now, the four kinds of gross bodies are those that are born of the womb, the egg, moisture, and the soil. So this is another way of classification. But if you ask a zoologist or a botanist, they have different kind of classification. Like they will say mammal, aves, then mollusks, and then say protozoa, and then metazoa, and so many kinds. So unicellular, multicellular, and the vertebrates, non-vertebrates. All these are various classifications. So here we are not interested in finding truth in the world. This is only a passing comment. We are interested in the real self. We are not Srishti Chintakaha. We don't consider to explain the Srishti. Even if you try, you cannot explain. Science is trying, but now it has become a philosophy. Yeah, gradually it is becoming a philosophy. So if you try to find the end of it, you cannot. It's not possible. So we are not Srishti Chintaka. We do not consider, or we don't try to explain the whole of things. Only we take the gist of it. And this is the possibilities. So these are the simplest way of classification. Those are born of the womb referred to men, beasts, etc. Like mammals. Then andajanya andebhyo jatani pakshipannagadini. So here, those that come out of the egg are the birds, the reptiles, etc. And what is Svedaja? Those that are born of moisture are the lice, mosquitoes, etc. I mean, example may not be 100% correct, but you see, like unicellular, it comes from accumulating some water, and then DNA is produced, and then the first viruses, and then after that unicellular, say amoeba, then multicellular, then they make a colony, and then distribution of labor. So all these are like scientific study, but here we don't concentrate there. So those that are born of moisture are the lice, mosquitoes, etc. Actually, they not exactly. They also come from eggs, but this is a general view that time. Those that spring from the soil are trees, creepers, etc. There also you can say, oh, it comes from seed. There must be some DNA in it, RNA, DNA, etc. So this is in general, it's a general view. Atrapi Chaturvidha. Now here also, all the gross bodies in their fourfold variety. Gross bodies, the fourfold variety, may be spoken of collectively or individually according to as they are thought of as one, like a forest or a lake. or many like the trees and quantities of water. So it is like this. We have discussed already. If we see a forest, we can see from two perspectives. From one tree, individual tree, or collective as the forest. Similarly, water, one drop of water, or we can take the whole lake, or the whole body of water. So collective and individual. Now, etat samashti upehitam. Now, if we take collective, so consciousness is witnessing, as it were, or in presence of consciousness, it is happening. See, we are talking, how it is happening. You are listening, how it is happening. First, you are conscious. When you are conscious, then only you are perceiving what is being said. So, etat samashti upahitam chetan. Upahitam means like it is on that the screen, as it were, all these are projected. Consciousness associated with this aggregate of gross bodies is called Vaishwanara. Vaishwanara, the name is given. Vaishwanara and Virat. When it is like outside its gross, we say, oh, Virat is the universal form of God. So God is manifesting. So consciousness is there. In presence of this consciousness, the whole world is visible. You are conscious. That is why you can see the whole world. So if you are not conscious, where is this world? You know, Einstein once asked, is it true that if I don't look at the moon, or if I am not there, moon is not there? Yes. The witness must be there. Then only things happen. You know that double slit experiment, there also the witness makes things grossified. Or in presence of witness, then only this visible world is there. If witness is not there, then this world is not like this. We do not know what it is. So anyway, conscious, okay, just 5 minutes. So now this consciousness associated with this aggregate of gross bodies is called Vaishwanara and Virat, on account of its identification with all bodies and from its manifestation in diverse ways respectively. So all is happening because of the Chaitanya, consciousness. In its presence, everything is being projected. Asyaisha samashtihi. Now, this aggregate gross body of his is called the elementary sheath, Annamaya Kosha. Like whatever is there, like this, is elementary. It is made up of food. That's why Annamaya Kosha. So what is there? It is all Annamaya Kosha. This is gross body of the divine, Annamaya Kosha. On account of its being a modification of food, because it has come from food. Even the if tree, you see a tree or giant sequoia, it has taken water, nourishment from the earth. That is why we see such a big tree. So, because it takes food, that's what called Annamaya Sharira, body of made up of food, and is said to be the waking state. And because, see, I am talking to you, so this is our waking state, and this is moving. I am speaking, that's also moving. So all these are related to food and waking state. See, everything is being explained here. So this is waking state. In dream state, what happens? Similar things happen. But we are not in this physical physical plane. That's dream plane, dream state. Now, etat vyashtyupaitam. Now, what happens when it is individual? Consciousness associated with the individual gross body is designated as Vishwa, another name. So, when we say individually, it is Vishwa. I am Vishwa, you are Vishwa, all are Vishwa. But when it is taken collectively, it is called Virat or Vishwanara. Consciousness associated with the individual gross body is designated as Vishwa on account of its entering the gross body, etc., without giving up its identification with the subtle body. So, subtle body is there. See, I am speaking, I am thinking. So, subtle body is there. But it is being expressed through gross body in my waking state. Okay, this will take and close today. Asyapishta veshtihi. Now, this individual gross body of his, that means the jiva, is also called the elementary sheath on account of its being modification of food and is said to be in the waking state. So this is waking state, and whatever we see, it is annamaya kosha. Like it has to, relate to all these things: annamaya, pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanamaya, anandamaya kosha, the 5 sheaths. Also, waking, dreaming, and dreamless state, and sattva, rajas, and tamas. All these it is taking, and it's all beautifully blended. So now this one we will take later. Any question?
I had a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
Like, but the sun or moon were there before us, so if so, how they
Okay,
are dependent on us?
sun and moon is also this bhur loka, or that annamaya kosha. Whatever we see visible is bhur loka, and beyond this bhuva, swar loka, and all, bhur, bhuva, swa, maha, jana, tapa, satya, 7 lokas, various levels. So sun, moon, this earth is also part of sun. Moon is also part of sun. It got separated, then only all the living creatures gradually came on this earth, but we did not find any living creature in moon. This is what your question is?
No, like, even when I was not there, the
Oh,
sun was there, so
okay.
how it dependent on my consciousness?
That Einstein's. Okay, this is. Say, suppose, you can you conceive something? Say, what is this Mahaloka, Satyaloka? Can you imagine? Even we cannot imagine. Whatever we imagine, that's also our gross mind. Gross mind is projected. So this is what I said. That's quantum theory. Quantum theory says, that they did a double slit experiment. What they did, first there is one single slit, and they bombarded many atoms. So they made a perfect one line, shape. Then what they thought, let us make two slits. Why it is so? Because they saw some experiment that light is behaving sometimes a particle, sometimes like wave. So, okay, let us see whether it is particle or wave. So, they made two slits and they bombarded with some atoms. So, what they saw, that it is not two strips, rather it is a pattern. You know, pattern means like overlapping. So, some will be very prominent, and later it will be like a smaller pattern. So they thought, oh, that means it is not particle, it is wave. And then what they thought, okay, let us put a geyser. That means the observer to count whether what happens. But to their surprise, when they put it, then only two strips came. So that means when there is a witness, then only it becomes like gross something. When there is no observer, they cannot say what it is, say like it is wave. So this is a theory of uncertainty. Like it is not certain whether it is a particle or a wave. Sometimes it behaves like particle, sometimes it behaves like wave. And wave, now they discovered there are so many, like some are moving like this, some are like in other spheres. So they identified sometimes 11, sometimes 9, various ways. So that is why, though behind this, Einstein was main proponent, but he did not believe in all these things. He thought, if I don't see moon, does it that moon does not exist? Actually, yes. You know, there is another experiment they did. What? They made a box. Just interesting. They made a box and put a cat there. Yeah. And cyanide bottle. And that cyanide bottle was bombarded, or that some rays were passed through. The possibility is there that because of those rays, cyanide will split and cat will smell it and die. It can happen, it cannot happen. So this is the possibilities. So they thought they cannot predict. They came to this logic that they cannot predict whether cat is dead or cat is alive. See, for example, you cannot predict that IPL, whether Delhi is going to win or lose. Can you predict? So until
No.
or unless it comes to being, you cannot predict. So all the possibilities, scientists thought, okay, all these possibilities are possible. So this is called theory of uncertainty. I'm just in a passing to make it understandable, but you can go through it and you can understand that way. Okay. So that is
Yes.
why when you see something, then it is grossified. Say when you see your dream, then dream is there. If you say, Swami, I did not witness my dream, but dream was there. Is it true? You cannot say it is true. So this is a
Yes.
bit a different story, but that is like that. Okay?
Swami, I have a question.
Yes.
I'm happy to hear that you're going to make the movie. I'm wondering when it's coming out, because then I'll finally hear the end of the story.
Yeah, like that story. What happened? You imagine what happened. I told you a story. Now, if I ask each one of you what happened, you will project your own mind. So, but I know that the whole story is a bogus. But so
But
it does
it'll be
not
good to
exist.
see it.
The story is very nice.
I'll be glad to see the movie.
Yeah, you can make a movie, but it does not exist actually. See, until or unless you make a movie, you cannot see that movie. Okay, that proves.
Maharaj,
Huh.
from this picture that where you are saying this Panchakarana, right?
Isn't that
So
agar balloon?
in the fire,
Say it
in the
again.
fire, the Panchakaran, the picture that you have the five circles here on top.
Hmm.
So the when we see the fire, that means it's half of fire, and then one eighth of the other four. But when we see the fire, how come we don't see the other four?
Okay, because now if you, this is a theory, number one.
Yeah,
But when a fire is flipping, like lap, 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 there will be
flickering,
some sound,
flickering.
flickering, flickering. So there will be some sound, and it is happening in space. So it is a like combination of all five. Then only it is grossified. And as you last time you asked, tanmatra, sometimes that is also said. Tanmatra means subtle.
Yeah.
But, if you read Swami Vivekananda, that you are walking in a garden, how you know that there is a beautiful, fragrant rose? Because a part of that comes and hits your sensory organ of your nose, sensory place where it is perceived. So that subtle part is like tat matra, subtle part of it. But sometimes it is taken as subtle also. So
No, because
this is
certainly in fire we don't see the water portion there. So is it still present there, right?
like
Because
see here it is one eighth, one eighth, one eighth. But
yeah,
main thing is that fire portion is main, like
uh-huh.
I quoted in that text, Brahma Sutras. So the main part of fire, all other things are in subtle portion. Then only. So if say suppose my story is very important. Okay,
The movie story.
yeah, the story I told you. Now this is my thought, and I told you that a prince started riding on a horse, and it entered in a forest. Can you imagine some space there? And then all of a sudden he saw a palace. Can you imagine a space without only form? You cannot imagine. All things will come. The main thing is space, when it is regarded as space. But when say like prince, in prince also space will be there, and all other things also will be there. The main thing, what the component is, the form. Right? So this is a theory to show you that grossification happens when it is all admixtured. That's the main thing. You may, because you have to refine your sensory perception. I gave a gross example of a story. There you have to imagine. See, like when you are imagining that a prince is going, he cannot go just anywhere. There must be space. There must be air. But main thing is that form of a prince. Right? So you have to make your sensory perception subtle to observe these various components. Okay.
One more thing, Maharaj.
Yes.
When we say our mind is agitated, does that mean the five pranas are not in balance, or
When we educate,
what? When our mind is agitated, we're
agitated,
troubled. Yeah.
agitated,
When we say our mind is agitated,
huh.
does that mean that the pancha pran is not in equilibrium state?
Okay. When mind is agitated, that means how you are agitated, because various thoughts of gain, thoughts of loss, losing, and then liking, disliking, and all these various kinds of things will come. So these are mental modifications. Mental modifications. So when there are many thoughts of various kinds, then you are agitated. That is why chanting or repeating the name of God is very important. Then all thoughts will go away. One thought will remain. And at the end, that one thought also will go away. Then what remains? That remains what is. What is, that remains. So all other thoughts, like these are also various thoughts. But this is to hone our understanding, to sharpen our understanding. This theory one can challenge. We have no problem. One can challenge this theory. But you see, this is to understand how it got all mixed up, then only it became grossified. That is being said. Okay.
Okay. Pranam Maharaj.
Thank you very much. You good questions.
Thank you.
Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tatsat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. And ultimately you can see all these are products of ignorance. All these thoughts cannot touch you. You are the real man. You are the real person. All these thoughts that I am small being, all thoughts come and agitated, and we suffer physical ailment, mental ailment. These are all fictions, like my story. Thank you.
Pranam.
Pranam Maharaj.
Namaste.
Namaste, Swami. Thank you for the class.
Namaste.
Pranam Maharaj.
Story was very nice, na? I thought how to convey Jai Ma, all mothers
Great.
best.
Good job, Swami.